The name of our Korean story is Brotherly Love. So here we'll begin with our story. Once upon a time, two brothers lived in a small village. Young Soo was the older brother, Young Woo the younger. When the boys were small, they were the best of friends. But when their parents died, Young Soo's heart turned hard. He took all of his family's possessions for himself and sent his brother out into the cold. Young Woo was industrious and determined to survive and live. He built himself a hut thatched with reeds at the edge of a stream and lived on the plants he grew in his tiny garden. One day, as he was walking, he happened upon a snake eating baby swallows in a nest near his home. Young Woo drove the snake away with a stick. She dropped a pumpkin seed into his hand. Young Woo blew a kiss to his friend and then he planted the seed. Before the sunset of that day, the seed had sprouted long, green vines. By morning of the next day, the plant was abloom with yellow flowers. Young Woo watered the plant, and in the morning he was amazed to find 3 enormous pumpkins in his garden. He quickly split open the first of these, and when he did, rice poured out. Without hesitation, he split open the second pumpkin, and from this poured gold coins. When he split open the third pumpkin, a band of tiny men rushed out, and they grew as quickly as the pumpkins had. These were the carpenters, and they set to work at once, building a house so grand. There he lived in peace and happiness, always remembering to give thanks for his gifts. When Young Soo heard of his brother's wealth, he hastened to visit his brother, and gentle Young Woo was happy to tell the tale of the rescued swallow.
Be good to the swallows, brother,
said Young Woo, and Young Soo quickly nodded.
My plan, exactly, brother.
And without so much as another word, Young Soo ran to the stream, searched for a nest of swallows, found one with 5 eggs. He took the baby bird from the nest, snapped its leg, and then nursed it back to health. As soon as the bird could fly, he took her to a field and set her free, and she fluttered up into the sky. The swallow came and dropped a pumpkin seed from the sky into Young Soo's hand.
This is my reward.
He cried gleefully, and he planted the seed and went to sleep, dreaming about his wealth to come. He waited another day and then another. In the midsummer, he was delighted to discover great green vines in his garden. The next day, he was overjoyed when he saw the plants that had sprouted yellow flowers, and on the third day, he could barely contain himself. When he saw 3 large pumpkins in his garden, he raced outside. He quickly sliced open the first of these, and he was horrified to see an old, wrinkled man emerge. He reached out and sliced open a second pumpkin. From the second pumpkin came a sea of soldiers. But no matter how many coins he paid the soldiers, they were not satisfied. They cried, and they too began to chase Young Soo. This time, Young Soo rushed past the third pumpkin, slicing it open as he passed, and out of this pumpkin came a huge wind that blew his house down, blew away his hidden coins, and blew away all he had ever owned. But when his brother Young Woo heard his wails, he came to his brother's rescue.
a brother should never abandon a brother.
He said to Young Soo,
And that is the lesson you have learned.
From that day on, the brothers lived long and prosperous lives, and they both were generous to all the people, and they always remembered to say their prayers of thanks.
A brother should never abandon a brother. And that is the lesson you have learned.
And so here we end our story.